choir, concert band, jazz band, and jazz chorus. And he was the captain of the cross-country team and was named Finger Lakes West All-Star. He is a member of the Boy Scouts and now member of Bloomfield Venture Crew number 295. He's also been a member of the Drama Club, playing the role of Mr. McAfee in Bye Bye Birdie. And he enjoys downhill skiing, camping, and backpacking. Mr. Andrew Hritz.
Okay. Good evening, students, staff, school board, and all of the supportive people in the audience. First, I would like to thank you all for coming. This is obviously a very special time in our lives, and we all know this night couldn't have happened without you. We all owe you a great amount of thanks. It is a pleasure to be able to speak to all of you. When I first began thinking about how to write this speech, I was at a loss. I didn't know what was expected of me. However, after some talking with Luke, we came up with a plan. I'm going to give my thoughts on learning, community, and setting goals. At the same time, I will begin the story of the Lion King. Here at Bloomfield, pride in the Lion King has significant meaning, especially to Luke. American author Jessamine West says that fiction reveals truth that reality obscures. Believe it or not, the class of 2010 is a lot more like Simba than you probably thought. We all remember the days when we were little middle schoolers. Most of us didn't have any idea of our potential or our future. It was like when Simba was held up in the beginning of the movie for all of the other animals to see. Simba was so small, so immature, so oblivious of what was to come. Every middle school class is faced with a similar experience. In Bloomfield, every incoming 6th grade class is held up in the gentle arms of Mr. Lysenko. It would be appropriate to note that any other similarities you can draw between Mr. Lysenko and the baboon Rafiki were unintentional. Eventually, we settled into our place here at Bloomfield. We meet teachers who we trust and begin to learn life lessons with. We find our Mufasa. In The Lion King, Mufasa is Simba's father, the king of the Pride Land, and he acted as a teacher to Simba. There is absolutely no doubt that every student seated here treated their teachers as parents, monarchs, and educators, all in one. Just ask a teacher. Some of the notable teachers we've had include Mrs. Kirch, Mr. Darling, Mrs. Randolph, and Mr. Rush. These teachers went above and beyond in teaching us greater life lessons. Mrs. Kirch could walk the fine line between church and state. As you saw, she would frequently use love and God in the same sentence without really teaching either. Mr. Darling taught at least a few of us that it is not advisable to roll your car down a hill in neutral when it is turned off. There is no car steering or brakes. Mrs. Randolph showed that it is possible to have a positive attitude and use sarcasm at the same exact time. I'm still trying to figure out how she does that. And Mr. Rush showed virtuosity in most of what he did. He taught us the guitar in the 6th grade, and even if you never had him after that, you probably saw him at a Battle of the Bands, or a color guard show, or in concert, or during assemblies. He was the Simon impersonator for Good or Gone, and he is responsible for writing songs for retiring teachers. This year it was Mrs. Damaski. Mr. Rush is an example of how to entertain when it's needed. There is a certain respect that we owe to people who prepare us for the future. Anyone in life who is willing to give us the tools of knowledge and wisdom should be taken seriously and thanked. This includes our parents and relatives, teachers, and any mentors we've had. There is much to be gained from listening to these people. What they've taught us will most likely assist us in the near future. To the parents in the audience, we want to thank you for giving us love and the support of a family to reach this point in our lives. To the teachers, I want to say to you that you offer us much more than what is written in your curriculum. We won't be afraid to use both your formal teaching and your personal insights to help us in the future. To everyone who has helped us for the past 17 or 18 years, even though we are leaving your care to pursue other things, we will not forget you. Thank you. High school is a lot like a huge family. The students are all rebellious and like to go out of bounds, while the teachers constantly try to hold us in. This is exactly what Mufasa does with Simba. We are shown our kingdom to roam and the boundaries, but we seldom listen. Like Simba, we especially pride ourselves in leaving school grounds and exploring graveyards, like the one just uphill from our track and softball field. year, the seniors overlooked their learning responsibilities by observing senior skip day, wearing togas, and semi-trashing the school for their last day. In all of these cases, the punishment was light or non-existent. After visiting the elephant graveyard in the movie, Simba is reprimanded but not severely punished by Mufasa. In many cases, our head Mufasa, Mrs. Gerstner, has acted the same to us. It's obvious that she loves us.
Yeah.
Anyway, in this high school family, we learn about belonging. We all find a niche in the school community. Most of us are involved in sports, art, clubs, music, or other extracurricular activities. We also learn to have pride in what we stand for. In each of these groups, we stand for something. Many of us would defend it in the face of death. Pride is the name of the Bloomfield Honeywell lacrosse team, where students from two rival schools put aside differences in the face of a greater team challenge. If I've learned anything, it's that you have to find an activity to have pride in. Let it be your pride rock, and allow it to be the base of your pursuits. It gives you something to have fun with, something to stand for, and something to work for. When Simba is young, he doesn't understand that he has to work to someday become king. He sings a beautiful song about how he'll basically inherit the throne and not have to worry about anything. He has a goal, but expects it to be given to him without work. When we entered middle school and looked toward graduation, we probably had no idea what was in store for us. Back then, an hour's worth of homework in one subject was considered cruel and unusual. Now we figured out that it takes a lot of work, commitment, and time to achieve the greatness we desire. As we're all seeing though, everything we did to get here is now worth it in the end. In the future, if we continue to set goals and work hard, surely we can go wherever we want to in life. In recent months, our lives have started to transition. A year or two ago, colleges started to stampede toward us like a herd of wildebeests. Caught in the bottom of a canyon, we had no choice but to be trampled and swept along in the craziness that is the college search, application, and acceptance process. Regretfully, this herd of wildebeests also killed Mufasa. As we stand here tonight, saying our last goodbyes to our deceased high school careers, many of us wonder what the future will bring. We begin to feel alone and helpless. Looking back, we see everyone who's helped us get here. We remember our pride and work ethic. Looking forward, we begin to wonder how any of these things will apply in the future. This is where Luke will pick up in the story. Thank you.